And as you've been hearing in the headlines today, radical preacher Abu Hamza could be extradited to the United States within 3 weeks to face terror charges. That at least is the hope of the Home Office. It's after a European court rejected his request for a final appeal. 4 other terrorist suspects also face extradition. One of them is Londoner Babar Ahmad, who's accused of running a website which provided support to terrorists. He's been held in a UK prison without trial for 8 years. Well, Home Office Minister James Brokenshire says the extradition process has already started.
We're very pleased that the European Court has decided that no reference will be made to the Grand Chamber. That exhausts the rights of appeal under the Extradition Act, and therefore we are already working with the US authorities to see that these individuals are returned to the US, where clearly they face some very serious allegations.
Well, Babar Ahmad's sister Amna told The Breakfast Show how he could have been tried in the UK, but claims the police bypassed the Crown Prosecution Service by handing vital evidence directly to the Americans.
They outsourced this case to America, hence the extradition. But this is a case that is clearly prosecutable here in the United Kingdom. This is what we've been calling for. This is what 149,000 people who signed the petition are calling for. He should be put on trial here. We're a sovereign nation. We are more than capable of trying our own people.
Well, the director of the Libertarian Alliance, Dr. Sean Gabb, told BBC London 94.9 earlier today that he opposes any extradition to the United States.
No British citizen should ever be extradited to face trial in a foreign country. It is inherently unjust to send a man to a distant place to stand trial. The American courts are often systematically biased against citizens of another country. And in the case of Babar Ahmad, his alleged offence was committed here in the United Kingdom. He ran websites. He didn't go and blow anyone up. He didn't go to the United States.
But Lord Carlisle, who used to be the government's independent reviewer of terrorism legislation, says it's entirely appropriate for him to be extradited.
If you run a website in the United Kingdom, which, for example, encourages terrorism in the United States, that is an offence in the United States, as well as potentially an offence in the United Kingdom, and vice versa. And either country has the power and the potential to carry out a prosecution. It's entirely reasonable.
Well, Fahad Ansari is a human rights lawyer and Babar Ahmad's brother-in-law. He joins us now on the programme tonight. Evening to you. Thank you for joining us today. Let's start off with, because lots of views there, as you heard, Lord Carlisle's assessment of today's decision. What do you make of that?
Well, I think Lord Carlisle is a bit duplicitous in his argument, because just last year he came out with the opposite argument when it came to the case of Gary McKinnon, the British citizen facing extradition for hacking into the Pentagon. In Gary McKinnon's case, Lord Carlisle said, even if he's sitting at a computer over here, the offence is clearly committed in this country. So for him to turn around and when it comes to a Muslim terror suspect come to the opposite views says a lot more about his personal prejudices than anything else.
And you think that obviously, in your opinion, you think that is prejudice?
Well, when it comes to Lord Carlisle, if you study, I wrote an article about this the last time he came out with such rubbish. He actually comes out with conflicting arguments depending on the ethnicity of the defendant. What? And you can read my article with the real Lord Carlisle. Please stand up. Widely available on the internet.
Okay. What do you understand Babar Ahmad is actually accused of doing?
He's accused of running websites which were talking about conflict in Chechnya and Afghanistan in the 1990s. These websites were hosted on servers in about 20 different countries, including the US for a period of about 14 months. The maintenance, operation, uploading of material, all is alleged to have taken place in the UK. We have precedent in this country, a case of Regina and Shepherd and Whittle, in which Lord Justice Scott Baker in the High Court, just in 2010, in a similar, identical case where people are accused of uploading material, he said the appropriate jurisdiction is not the United States, but the United Kingdom.
Are you happy with this summary that the website that Babar Ahmad is allegedly involved with is a website which provides support to terrorists?
Well, it goes. I mean, I'm not familiar with the website. All I can know is what
you've never seen. You haven't seen the website.
I've seen the website. Now it goes on to this whole issue of definition of terrorism. These are serious questions that need to be answered. But what our concern is, why is it happening in America? We have, as has been pointed out, the oldest criminal justice system in the world. These men are British citizens. They were born and raised, paid taxes in this country. They've never stepped foot in the United States, and they should be prosecuted for a crime which is allegedly committed here.
But I'm keen to get your opinion just on if before we go any further on the website itself. Are you saying you're not aware that there is any assistance to terrorists because you haven't seen it, or do you not want to answer that question?
Well, I've seen the website, but I think this is a question, whether they are illegally providing funds to terrorism or material support to terrorism, as the allegation is. That's something for a court to decide and for a court to determine.
Well, if I put it this way, if I were a terrorist and I said to you, do you know where I can get good details on how to carry out a terrorist outrage, would that a website be the destination that I should go to?
In my opinion, no. In my opinion, as a lawyer, someone who's basically seen the website, I said no.
And just lastly, we heard there from the director of the Libertarian Alliance, Dr. Sean Gabb, who says it would be purely unjust to send this individual and indeed others to another country, particularly America. You presumably absolutely agree with what he had to say.
I mean, before I address that, I just want to address something that the Home Office Minister is, again, deliberately misleading people. They keep talking about returning these individuals to the United States. These individuals have not been to the United States. In the case of Babar, he's never stepped foot in the United States. These are British citizens. It's a very propagandist, sensationalist approach to how the Home Office is presenting these cases, deliberately misleading the public. As opposed to extraditing to the United States, there's no reason to extradite to the United States. We have a justice system that can prosecute these people properly in this country.
I was going to talk to you. We're going to have to leave it there. Many thanks for joining us live on the programme tonight. Fahad Ansari is a human rights lawyer and also Babar Ahmad's brother-in-law live on Drive Time tonight.